Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm going to talk about the Queen of Cups today in my Kate Bush song choice. I thought I would just quickly talk about the Queens again because it has been, I think, my favourite group of cards to create for this deck. I think there's several reasons for that. I think that there's lots of really strong Kate Bush songs that deal with this energy. In my mind, I see the Queens as very distinct characters, and I'll talk about that quickly in a minute. And also, I think maybe for me at this point in my life, being a middle-aged mother, there's something about the Queens that I personally identify with. But saying that, as I often say with the court cards, is that you don't have to be a woman or a mother to identify with the queen archetype. It's not about gender or motherhood. It stretches far beyond that. So let me just quickly recap on where I'm coming from with the different queens. I should say, so I've got my cards, some of my cards here, and I've also got this beautiful deck which is the Painted Tarot, and I'll try and put a link to the videos about that from the creator. And I love her use of colour. I think it's so emotive and so appropriate for these court cards. So we have Queen of Wands, so I'll just sort this one in. We have Queen of Wands first of all. Queen of Wands, someone who I think likes to be centre of attention, who very warm, charismatic, someone creative, who probably acts then thinks later. They are someone who leads with their heart, I think, rather than their head. All the things that we associate really, I suppose, with fire signs, and I felt like Babushka was a really good choice for her. Then, I'll put her to one side, we have a Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords has got the detachment, I think, and the clarity that the Queen of Wands sometimes lacks. They are more someone like, so if Queen of Wands could be an artist or an actor, say, Queen of Swords would be a lawyer, someone that uses language like a writer, someone like a surgeon who we want to be detached, that sometimes emotional detachment is required, is a necessity in certain situations. And she's good at getting to the truth. She sees through stuff. I think probably one of the problems with the Queen of Swords is that they're very good at identifying other people's delusions or other people's faults. But like all of us, they're not so great at identifying their own, or their own prejudices or their own judgments. And of course, words, we can do a lot of harm, we can do a lot of hurt with what we say, especially if we're not open-minded, which is what this song, Leave It Open, is all about. That's from the Dreaming album. So that was my Queen of Swords. Now, Queen of Coins, I have really changed my view of the Queen of Coins, or I would probably call her Queen of Pentacles, since I first started learning tarot, which is probably about 15 years ago. When I didn't like her at first. I imagined her as very conforming, safe, cautious, a little dull, conservative, and not particularly creative. But I think observing when she comes up in readings for me, there's a lovely, beautiful grounding energy, and I actually really look forward to her turning up. She's my favourite queen now. There's that connection to nature, which I think is so healing for all of us. She's practical. she has that level of, I mean, with Queen of Swords, I say, oh, it's detachment. It's not quite detachment, but it is like a more of an easygoing calm about her that I feel the Queen of Pentacles is less likely to create a drama like the Queen of Wands, or overthink and overanalyze like the Queen of Swords. So I think I keep changing my mind. I haven't done this card yet because I keep changing my mind about the song choice. And obviously I want to be one of my favourite songs for this. But I think I've decided and got something in mind now. So anyway, let's finally go to Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups is the sort of person that if you're really upset, that you want around. In fact, probably the sort of person that senses you're upset. You don't even need to explain it to them. Very intuitive, sensitive, nurturing, willing to help others. This is, I mean, the colours in here, you can see the gentleness and the softness of this queen here. Now, I think this energy does have a shadow side, partly because of how socially we are trained, or brainwashed, if you like, to see women and mothers in particular. And I will show you the song because I think the song I have chosen relates to that. So this is my song choice. Now, if you don't know which song this comes from, you could see this as quite a traditional portrayal of the Queen of Cups. She is someone who is associated with comfort and nurture, or self-nurture as well, healing. She's got, this is taken from, I mean, before Kate Bush became a mother herself. She's quite young here in this photo. I think it was taken from some sort of benefit event, and she's holding the hands of 2 children. But it didn't feel right to include their pictures here, especially because of the subject matter of this song. It felt wrong. So I've just left their hands in. This is very tongue-in-cheek, this halo, which I'll explain why in a minute. Although it isn't the first card I've used and put a halo around. If you remember, I also put a halo around Kate Bush in the Six of Swords, which is also associated with healing, I think. So there is a relationship, I think, between the Six of Swords and the Queen of Cups, which I wouldn't have necessarily thought about until I created this card. But this is, it's like the Virgin Mary. It's the all the baggage that comes with that idea of maternal sacrifice that I think as a society we encourage. And at what point does that nurture, does that willingness to defend and protect our children, at what point does that become something that's destructive or toxic or unhealthy? And this is, of course, from Mother Stands for Comfort, which is an incredibly dark song, despite what its title might suggest. The mother here is protecting someone who has hurt others, and they are relying on the mother's protection to not be arrested, I suppose, and not be taken in by the police. I think, I'm not sure if this song actually we know what the child has actually done. I don't think we do. But I imagine some sort of like even a murder or something. So this mother is protecting a murderer, say, someone that has done something very wrong. And what point does this whole idea of motherhood as, you know, or the mother as someone that sees the child and refuses to see the bad in them, refuses to take a more objective view. At what point does that become something that is toxic, something that needs to be challenged? So I think it's a really interesting idea and view of this card. I would say that if this card came up for me, the Queen of Cups, I would think, well, yeah, do I need to look after myself more? Is there somewhere where I need to you know, either nurture myself, or is there someone who, you know, can offer me support? So there's definitely that, so definitely the face value. But looking at the shadow, I'd also be thinking, well, where am I, you know, am I clear with my boundaries? Am I giving too much? Am I taking on this kind of saintly, angelic kind of role? And there's sometimes, there is, you know, am I playing the martyr? And there is an aspect of being a martyr as well, in which is manipulative, in which is wanting, you know, something in return for what we're giving, and not being upfront. And I think in a way, the balance to that, harsh that she is, the balance to the negative side, to this Queen of Cups energy, is the Queen of Swords, is that kind of clarity. And maybe this, you know, it's something we don't normally associate with this. I mean, I'm talking, this feels very gendered, I'm saying this. It's unfortunate perhaps that we still think in these terms, but there is something about this which is still seen in our society as like the epitome of femininity, of womanhood, and this, it isn't. But, you know, all for women. if we talk about and make it about women now, but, you know, all four of these energies are in the tarot. They are part of us, you know, whoever we are. So that is my choice for the Queen of Cups. Be interested to know if you have any other songs you think. I mean, I suppose I could have gone completely in a different direction with this and made a lot softer and natural, loving energy, you know, something like This Woman's Work, say, or the Coral Rune. Anyway, always interested to know your thoughts, and thanks as always for watching. Bye-bye.